Hey guys, it's Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and I've got a CTSmart knife for you today on Wee Wednesday. It's why do I forget? Is it an aluminum or a steel body? Anyways, it's a friction folder. No detent anywhere, just friction slides. They claim that it's D2 steel on the blade. I'm not too sure about that. Once I'm done recording this, I will do a test, a corrosion test. What my corrosion test can tell me is if it's likely to be D2 or if it's unlikely to be D2. I can't guarantee either way. I can't say for sure, just in what likelihood is. Since D2 is not a stainless steel, it is just a regular steel, although it is somewhat corrosion resistant. If it corrodes easily, it's probably D2. If I can barely get it to corrode with my test, it's probably not D2. So we'll try that out, and I'll let you know on the screen right here what my results are if I do the test. There's 4 screws holding it together, and that's it. Very, very simple. Little backspacer there. Backspacer has a little stick coming out the end with a 4-sided tip and a hole. Straight front, so that's a Warncliffe. There's a hole in the blade. It's a Scandi grind. That's a flat grind right there. And rounded spine. Why don't we get to the tabletop mode and we're going to take a good close look at this thing together. This knife is made in China. It's a tiny little knife. Why don't we give you the measurements before we do too much else? We've got a cutting edge that's 2.41 centimeters long. That's 0.95 of an inch. We've got a blade length, so that's from the tip of the handle here to the tip of the blade. That's 2.9 centimeters. That's 1.14 inches. The blade thickness is 3.34 millimeters. That's 0.13 inches. The blade depth and the handle depth, they're the same depth right here. 2.15 centimeters, that's 0.845 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind on this guy from the factory is 0.56 millimeters, which is 0.022 inches. So fairly thin behind the grind. I'd like it to be less than half a millimeter. This is just barely over half a millimeter, 0.56, so it's not a big deal at all. The handle length, so I counted this blue part, not counting this little extension here, just the blue handle. The length of that piece is 5.16 centimeters. That's 2.03 inches. The grip area, so that's this part right here, 4.16 centimeters, 1.64 inches. The handle thickness, not counting the screws, you can see the screws sticking out further than the rest of the handle. The handle thickness there is 1 centimeter, 0.393 of an inch. The total length of this knife is 9 centimeters, 3.56 inches. It weighs 47 grams, which is 1.6 ounces. So not an awful lot. How much is the price? In US dollars, it's $20.68. In Canadian dollars, it's 26.26. Euros, 17.23, and in British pounds, it's 15.33. There is a small shipping charge on this as well. So what are the unique features on this thing? Well, it's made super heavy duty for its small size. What kind of screws do we have here? We've got Torx screws here. I think they're T8. And then on the other side, you can use a standard flat to go in there. To hold it, to unscrew it, to take it apart if you want to. There's no detents on this thing at all anywhere. It's just friction. And you can tighten either of these 2 screws up front here. And that will change how much friction there is to open and close it. You can make it quite loose and free, which I don't think you would want. Or you can make it nice and snug. I've got it something in between, not too snug, not too free. And that's so that if I do have it closed, it's a very low chance that it's going to bump into something and open up. That's what I want. I want it to stay closed when I have it closed. One of the cons that I really noticed immediately when I put it in hand is When you close it, it stops right there. And I would rather have this edge and this edge come, closer to parallel. And there's room, if you look inside here, the tip of this corner here, when you bring it over, the tip only comes to about there. And it has room to come, close to this edge. That edge comes straight across. So it's got room to come to there, but it only comes to about there. And so that's about, 3/16 of an inch space that it could come down further. The knife has this spot right here, and that's sort of rounded out. That comes and rests against this post. So you come around, it rests on that post, and then the knife stops, can't close any further. The cutting edge is, not impeded by anything. It doesn't hit anything. If I can get the light just right, you can see through there. See that big space where nothing's coming into that spot? So I think I would like to take a grinder or something and grind into that spot right there and take it down a bit so that it could close further. That would be a good thing, I think. If I do that, I'll make a separate video about doing that. But for now, that's how it is. I'll show you the washers that are in there. There's a very thin phosphor bronze washer and a very thin sort of plasticky, almost nylon type washer in there on each side. You have two on each side. So that's pretty good. And it comes together quite well. I've already mentioned you've got a flat grind, and then you've got a bevel. Nice sharp square corner there. Very good for, opening packages or anything. And I tend to hold it like this, to get into packages. I got some packaging here. It easily cuts into stuff and through stuff. No problem at all. You can cut paper if you want to. I could slice paper with it all day long if I wanted to. No problem there. It can cut more heavy-duty stuff if you want it to because, it's got a nice, robust edge. It's just not very big. So whatever your hand can hold, that's what it can do. Now, if you hold it this way, if you put it in your hand, your two middle fingers right there, your pinky's loose and your index finger's loose, and then you can pinch up here like this. That gives you a very solid grip. It's not going anywhere. You just can't do an awful lot of things because it's a short, almost 1 inch cutting edge, and that's about it. You can hold it this way and cut some things. When you're holding it like this, you have the advantage of this sort of behaving like a rust lock. So it's not really a lock, but that arm comes up over the spine and you hold it closed that way, and that stops it from, if anything hits the top, it won't close because your thumb would have to come up for this to close. So yeah, it's a reasonable little knife. Actually, I kind of like it. You can get it in just sort of all gray instead of in this blue color if you want. They've got a strange different head on it. So they've got one, I'll show you a picture of the other blade choice that you can have with the exact same body. So there you go. There's not that much else to say about this knife. Do I like it for the price? I probably wouldn't buy it. I got this one sent to me by GearBest to review. I probably wouldn't spend my own money on it, but then again, I might because I do like wee knives. I got a thing for small knives, and I like having a good small knife collection. So at $20, $21 US roughly, it's not a big expenditure of money, but it's not on the top of my list for wee knives. Let's put it that way. So I enjoy having it. I'm glad I've got it. I'm going to be keeping it. I won't be sending it to anybody or selling it or probably not giving it away. I like the rounded spine, so that's not hard on your thumb when you're using it for a while. I really wish it had a detent on the all the way open spot and on the all the way closed spot, because what I would really like to do is I'd like it to be able to put this on a keychain. And I don't really want to put it on a keychain without there being a detent, making sure it stays closed. I really wish they would have done that on here. That would make it a knife that I would say I definitely do want to keep, and I would definitely recommend it. Right now, it's a fairly soft recommend. If you like it after all of the things that I've said to you, hey, then go buy it. But, you know, for the reasons that I've already mentioned, you may choose to just pass on this one. Of course, totally up to you either way. And it doesn't matter to me which way you choose, because you're the one who lives with your choices, so you make your choices the way you want. We've got a nice bevel on here all over the place. It's a nice little design. Easy to maintain, and it looks kind of nice. So thank you so much for watching my little video. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Thanks for having another Happy Wee Wednesday with me. And remember, always cut towards your chum and not your thumb.